Okay, so you bought your new Bible, you bought your new notebook, you're watching all the sermons, and you're trying to figure out how to start your journey and your walk with God. You're trying to figure out how to grow closer to God, how to learn how to hear his voice. Let me know if that's you. You may be asking yourself, how do you feel his presence? Or maybe, how do you even sit long enough to read the Bible? If this is where you are, or if you want to grow in your relationship or your walk with God, grab your notebook and get ready to take notes, because I'm about to teach you how to grow or start your journey or your walk with God. Now, there may be lots of videos on YouTube on how to start your journey or your walk with God, but this video is going to be a little bit different. At the end of the day, we need to know the bigger picture. We need to know, what is it that's going to keep you going? What is it that's going to keep you seeking God to a place where you begin to find your purpose, your call, and your assignment? Because at the end of the day, if you don't know where you're headed, it's very likely for you to give up on something. But if you know what your goal is, if you know where you're headed, if you know what you are working to achieve, then you're more likely to stay focused and keep moving and going. If this video is already helping you, click the subscribe button, because I have so many more videos that will help you in your journey or your walk with God. So one thing the Lord told me is, he told me to go on YouTube and teach people the things that you wish you knew. And this is something that I wish I knew when I first started my journey or my walk with God. I wish someone would have told me to really start this out knowing that this is a commitment. That this is not just a short-term thing, that this is long-term. I started my relationship with God, but then God started to show me purpose. He started to show me my assignment. He started to show me my calling. He started to show me all these things. And as I started to step into it, I realized later on, I'm like, hold on, like, this is my life now. This is what I'm doing now. This is what I'm called to do. Like, I didn't realize the commitment. I didn't realize that this was a long-term thing in the beginning. And when you think about your relationship with God, you want to start going into this knowing that I'm in a relationship with God. And if you think about a relationship, the Lord showed this to me before. He said, our relationship with him is like a relationship with anyone else. But he started to show it to me on Facebook. And he began to show me some people are single. Some people are in a relationship. Some people are engaged. Some people are married. Some people, it's complicated. Some people are widowed. Ask yourself right now, what's your relationship status with God? Let me know in the comments, what is your relationship status with God? Are you single, meaning that you're not with anyone, you're not with God, you haven't been spending time with him, you're not connected to him? Are you in a relationship with him where you guys are getting to know each other, you're building something? Are you engaged with y'all? Like, you know, when you get engaged, it's like we're locked in, like we are locked in right now. And then when you start to get married, like, oh, we have a bond. There is no turning back till death do us part. It's complicated means I'm trying to get to God and I'm trying to make our relationship grow, but it's just something that's throwing it off. Let me know in the comments, which one are you in? But the thing is, any relationship that will begin to have growth is going to have a commitment. When you start to commit to someone, when you guys go from, oh, we're no longer just in a talking phase to now we're in a relationship together, that's when you start to see growth. That's when you start to see that the relationship is blooming. You start to see this next level of the relationship. And so the Lord began to tell me, you got to get to a place where you make the commitment. You say yes. And so when you make that commitment to God in the beginning, you're basically putting a title on it. That going back to a situationship, there's no title. You're confused. You don't know if you guys are together, if you're not together. And so it's the same thing with God. Until you get to a place where you make a commitment to God and you're just like, God, I'm in it to win it. We are together. We're in this. You're never going to get to a place where you take your relationship with God serious enough to where you really are in it to win it and you are growing and changing the way that God really wants and needs you to change. So step number one is to make a commitment in the beginning of your journey and your walk with God. Now, if we keep it on the idea of a relationship with someone, when you start to date someone or you're with someone and you start to see that they are serious, then the relationship usually goes a little bit deeper. You guys probably spend more time together. You guys are probably going deeper into things. And so this is where you go into like dating Jesus. And this is where the prayer time, the journal time, the spending the time with him, the going on dates, the prayer walks, all of these things are considered dates or dating the Lord. And so I think that when we start to get to a place where if we want our relationship to grow with God, we have to put in the time. Think about when you're dating somebody, like he's calling you, he's like, hey, you want to go out? Because he wants to spend time with you. He wants to get to know you. And so this is where you have to be intentional about your time with God. Now, let's imagine that you're dating someone and you just literally never spend time with them. You never talk to them, you never text them, you never talk on the phone, you never FaceTime, you never see them, you never go on dates. Is that relationship going anywhere? Is that relationship going to grow? And it's the same thing when we're learning and we're growing in our journey and our walk with God. This is where you start to spend time with him every single day. Because when you start to spend time with him every single day, you learn to hear his voice. You learn to know who he is. You get to know him. He gets to know you, and the relationship blooms and blossoms. One thing that you can do is to start to have date nights with him. Grab some food, get some takeout, especially if you're someone who's single. Start to date, like really get into a place where you're spending that time. And number 3 is to be open and vulnerable with him. Now, this is the part that I think a lot of people miss this part. I don't know where this part is missed or why a lot of people don't know this part, but it's the vulnerability part that changes everything in your relationship and your walk with God. And this is something that I wish I knew. If you think about a relationship with a person, it's those intimate moments. It's the intimate space. It's the opening up. It's the opening up your heart. It's the releasing everything that's inside of you and like letting that person know who you really are. And when we talk about being vulnerable with God in the beginning of your relationship, this is going to change your life. It's opening up and saying, today was a really hard day. And I don't even know how I'm feeling right now. Today is a day where I want to give up. Today is the day where I don't want to do this anymore. Like that vulnerable moment. And I don't know how many people have had this in relationships, but when you get to a place where you can be vulnerable, that where you can open up your heart, where you can open up yourself, where you can be who you really are in front of that person, then it's a game changer. It changes everything. And it's the same thing with our relationship with God. When we begin to get to a place where we can open up, where we can be free, where we can be honest, where we can let go, where we can release these things, like it's going to change everything. If you can do this, if you can focus on this in the beginning of your journey in your walk with God, I guarantee you everything will be a breeze because you've already committed to your relationship with God. You already know that you need to spend time with him in order to grow your relationship with him. And you're open, you're honest, you're transparent, you're giving him everything that's weighing you down. Now, if you are in a place where you're just starting your journey or your walk with God, you're probably in the pruning season. And if you want to learn what the pruning season is, you can click the link in the comments or in the description box so that you can watch my free masterclass, Which Season Are You In With God, where it breaks down the different seasons that we have to go through in our walk with God. And I guarantee you, it will all make sense. And if you want to grow even deeper in your journey and your walk with God, you can click the faith playlist that pops up here on the screen where it teaches you everything that you need to know. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next video.